Hi, did someone just join?
Yes, this is Claire Kendall, and I wish to make comments at the hearing.
Okay, can you spell your last name, please?
Kindall, and the first name is Claire without an I, Clare.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did someone just join?
Yes, this is Sinead Braun.
Can you spell your name, please?
Sure, Shenae, and last name is D as in David, Raudhn.
Thank you. Someone else join?
Hey, Shelley, it's Debbie Alter.
Thanks, Debbie. Did someone join?
Yes, this is Masuda Omar.
Hi, Masuda. Did someone just join?
Hey, Shelley, it's Michelle, CHFA.
Hi, Michelle. Someone join? Did someone join? As you join, if you could just... Oh, go ahead.
As a chance, Housing Authority of New Haven, the Glendower Group.
Hi, this is Allison Blackwelder with U.S. Green Building Council.
Allison Blackwelder?
Blackwelder.
Welder? If you could just give me your name, please, if you haven't already done so.
George Penniman.
I'm sorry, George?
Penniman, Penniman.
Leanne Hanfield from Beacon.
Sarah Giordano.
Did someone else join?
Hi, this is Ryan Kirikoff. This is Ryan Kirikoff from Penrose.
Sarah Minor, Mutual Housing.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, Mark Arilli with West Hartford Fellowship Housing.
Someone else join?
Noah Gottbaum from BNT.
And this is Nico Yanuzis from Whittlesey.
This is Dan
Harding from LeGrand.
Wow.
Can you repeat that, please?
Dan
Harding from LeGrand Associates.
I'm sorry, Dan, there's an echo for your last, I couldn't hear your last name.
Sorry, Dan Backlick with Wind Companies.
Did someone else join?
Yes, this is Alicia Dolce just joining.
Hi,
Cindy Walker from Home Innovation Research Lab.
I'm sorry, Cindy Walker?
Wasser, W-A-S-S-E-R.
Okay. Someone else join?
Joanna Grad from Stephen Winter Associates.
Did you hear that I joined, Alicia Dolce? I'm from the Connecticut Green Building Council in Connecticut,
Yes.
Passive House. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great.
Is there anyone else who has joined?
Hi, this is Allie Machad from Vesta Corporation.
Hi, it's Peter Harding from McGran Associates.
Peter, I'm sorry, can you repeat your last name?
Harding, H-A-R-D-I-N-G.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Kate Doherty from Stephen Winter Associates.
Terry, it is after 1 if you want to.
Sure. I'll just say a little bit of housekeeping. Shelley was asking for everyone's name as you joined so that we can have an alphabetical list in which we'll be able to call on folks, making sure that everyone has an opportunity to speak who is in attendance. If we haven't already captured your name, either mention that now or for folks who join later, we'll be asking at the end to make sure we've captured everyone and everyone has a chance to speak. We ask if you can possibly limit your comments to 3 to 5 minutes so that everyone has a chance to speak. And if you don't have a comment to make, and that's fine when you're called on, just so indicate. That would be fine. I need to read the public notice, which was published on May 9th, 2021 in the statewide newspapers, into the record, which I will do. And after that, we will begin to receive comments on the QAP. I believe everyone's had a chance to review it. It's online, and you can always find it along with anything related to that document that is new and for comment. We will have a comment period that continues after this hearing. So if you think of other things or want to add to it, feel free to email publiccomment@chfa.org anytime up until the close of business on May 28th. Okay? The notice of public hearing that was published reads, Connecticut Housing Finance Authority is the low-income housing tax credit allocating agency for the state of Connecticut. The public is hereby notified that CHFA will hold a public hearing on May 19th, 2021 at 1 p.m. to receive data, views, and comments with respect to its LIHTC 2022 and 2023 Qualified Allocation Plan. All interested persons may participate. This meeting will take place telephonically, and all are invited to participate by dialing in 888-330-1716 and when prompted, entering the access code. These instructions will also be available online at www.chfa.org. The QAP is available to review by visiting www.chfa.org. Written statements in place of or in addition to oral statements may be submitted by email to publiccomment@chfa.org or by mail to attention Terry Nash, CHFA, 999 West Street, Rocky Hill, Connecticut, 06067, from date of this notice to no later than close of business, May 28, 2021. That ends the notice, and I also want to just let folks know this is being a recorded hearing so that we'll be able to publish it later on our website for all to hear. And Shelley, if you would begin to receive comments, thank you.
I apologize if I didn't get your name correctly. The first one I have on the list is Dan Backwig.
Yes, I'm actually just listening in. Thank you.
Okay. Allison Blackwelder. Do you have a comment?
Hi. This is Allison Blackwelder. I'm the U.S. Green Building Council. Thank you for the opportunity to give comments today on the proposed 2022-2023 QAP currently in development. USGBC is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to transforming the way buildings and communities are designed, built, and operated in order to make our world more environmentally and socially responsible, healthy, and economically prosperous. USGBC is best known for our LEED Green Building certification system, which supports the advancement of high-performing, cost-effective, and resilient buildings that save resources and money for residents and building owners. A core part of our work is residential projects, particularly multifamily buildings that are well-designed, constructed, maintained, and operated to reduce utility costs for residents and offer returns on investments. USGBC commends CHFA for its decision to offer competitive points for green building certification, including LEED, in its previous QAP approved in 2020. By offering this incentive to developers to pursue green building certification, they are encouraged to build affordable housing that is more resilient, durable, sustainable, healthy, and truly affordable for residents and building owners. With that in mind, USGBC urges CHFA to make two primary changes to the 2022-2023 QAP draft. We recommend that CHFA require third-party verification of green building certifications and energy efficiency certifications. By requiring third-party verification of actual certification, CHFA will receive assurance of construction quality, resource efficiency, and overall project resilience. We also recommend that there is an increase in point values for green building options in Tier 1 and Tier 2, to 4 points and 7 points respectively for new construction projects. By increasing the available point total, this will maintain the integrity of affordable housing in Connecticut. CHFA plays a critical role in implementing the LIHTC program to provide greater opportunities for high-quality, sustainable, resilient housing for Connecticut's low-income populations. By increasing this number of achievable points and by requiring proof of third-party certification, CHFA will demonstrate its continued commitment to resident health and wellness, along with energy and water savings. We applaud your leadership in proposing this QAP, and we will submit written comments for the record as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kate Dougherty.
Hi, my name is Kate Dougherty. I'm a building systems analyst on the Passive House team for Steam Winter Associates. I live and work both in Norwalk, Connecticut. My company has worked closely with many project teams on CHAFA applications in the past. Many are completed projects, and I assume that we will work closely with projects in the future. Through experience with some of our projects, I definitely support incentivizing Passive House in this QAP and in order to support healthy and energy efficient buildings as well as energy cost effective communities, and overall working towards our carbon and efficiency goals for the future. I think that incentivizing the points for Passive House is important. Thank you.
Thank you. Alicia Dolce.
Hi, my name is Alicia Dolce, and I'm here today wearing two hats. One is one as the Executive Director of the Connecticut Green Building Council, whose mission is to accelerate the healthy, resilient, equitable, and sustainable transformation of Connecticut's built environment, and as a board member of Connecticut Passive House, whose mission it is to advance the adoption of the Passive House building standard. I just want to say up front how much I acknowledge CHAPA for its thoughtful and inclusive process to involve a diverse array of stakeholders to collaborate on the development of a multi-year qualified allocation plan. Specifically, I was involved in the Sustainable Design Measures section, so my comments will pertain to that aspect. I'm extremely pleased to see the increase in overall points for the Sustainable Design Measures section from 7 to 13, because the signal this sends to developers is in lockstep with the state's emphasis on sustainability, resiliency, and clean energy. Importantly, the draft Sustainable Design Measures section is much more expansive than in prior years, which will serve to, quote, future-proof this QAP to reward points for innovation and higher levels of performance on a variety of measures. Specifically, the breakout of Sustainable Design Measures into those two separate sections for energy conservation and green building will provide developers with options and point allocations that are commensurate with the measures it takes to achieve these various targets as described in the tiered point system. Furthermore, in the energy conservation section, the highest points for Tier 3, which include Passive House, come at an opportune time given Eversource's 2021 launch of expansive utility incentives for Passive House, along with a Passive House training program that is currently underway. So in closing, as someone has already said, I want to acknowledge CHAPA's leadership for thinking big, including many different stakeholders, to come up with an expansive multi-year qualified allocation plan.
Thank you. Next I have is Shanae Droughton.
Yes,
Drawn?
thank you. Thank you for this opportunity for comments. We are writing, I'm sorry, my name is Shanae Drawn. I'm from Elm City Communities here in New Haven, Connecticut. We are writing to strenuously object to the Connecticut Housing Finance Agency's proposed 2022-2023 Qualified Allocation Plan as it relates to the proposed removal of the public housing classification. As you know, this public housing classification has led to the preservation or new construction of a significant number of public housing units throughout the state of Connecticut, thus addressing the housing needs of Connecticut's residents who are most disadvantaged and most at risk of homelessness. The public housing classification is especially important because the QAP, as written, otherwise significantly disadvantages applicants in New Haven and similar communities, and particularly those who focus on the replacement of obsolete public and assisted housing. Under opportunity characteristics, the proposed QAP provides a total of 15 points for opportunity characteristics. We appreciate the support CHAPA's efforts to support developments that promote resident choice, but have concerns about the way in which the associated metrics disadvantage the housing authority of the City of New Haven and similarly situated housing authorities. Specifically, applicants like us will likely not be eligible for more than 2 points in this category. Most, if not all, of the prior 5 years of 9% awards in New Haven are located in census tracts that would receive 0 points, effectively creating a competitive process where municipalities such as New Haven start with a 15-point deficit. In the past, we have been disadvantaged when competing on a points basis with developers who were free to locate their sites in the state with a high or moderate opportunity index. In fact, the vast majority of the City of New Haven is categorized as low or very low on this index. Nevertheless, each of our projects undergoes a rigorous fair housing and equal opportunity review by HUD's Office of Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity, and the project is not permitted to proceed unless it is determined that the project meets federal fair housing requirements. As you know, being located in the area of opportunity is one, but not the only way in which developments can affirmatively further fair housing. Our project meets and exceeds fair housing requirements as confirmed by rigorous and continuous review. At the same time, we have utilized our redevelopment activities to revitalize communities throughout the City of New Haven, a locality with one of the highest occupancy rates in the country. Nevertheless, the proposed rule, we would be significantly disadvantaged and might not be able to score competitively. The City of New Haven has 31 census tracts, of which 22 have minority concentrations of 55% or greater, and 9 have minority concentrations below 55. The City of New Haven as a whole has an average minority concentration of 68%. Nevertheless, we continuously demonstrate that our developments are an integral part of an overall local strategy for the preservation or restoration of the immediate neighborhood. And the sites are in the neighborhood experiencing significant private investment that demonstrate changing the economic character of the area. As a result, we have been able to demonstrate that our projects meet civil rights requirements. Your change from public, general to rehab new construction set aside, the public housing classification recognized both, one, the significant need for maintaining and replacing distressed public housing, and two, the reality that public housing authorities cannot choose where to locate their projects. The elimination of this category would disadvantage public housing authorities by requiring them to compete against private developers. CHAPA has been a crucial partner in ensuring that public housing remains a viable housing option in the city, in cities like New Haven, and recognizing the significant impact that redevelopment of those properties has had in cities such as ours. Unfortunately, the elimination of the public housing classification together with the continued emphasis on providing points for opportunity characteristics penalizes urban areas where many of the larger housing authorities tackle some of the most complicated and needed development efforts. The proposed elimination of public housing classification, along with the elimination of the 3 points previously offered for a state-sponsored housing portfolio, represents a significant departure from this long-standing commitment to public housing. Finally, CHAPA has referenced an analysis that was completed that determined that there was no longer a need for a public housing classification. Such an analysis has not been shared with interested parties, so there has been no opportunity to review such a critical component of this proposed change. The public must be provided the opportunity to review any basis for such a major change to the QAP, and any related proposed changes to the QAP should be delayed until this information can be reviewed and commented on appropriately. We truly appreciate your longstanding commitment to public housing authorities and urge you to continue to support this partnership through the state through the continued inclusion of public housing classifications in the QAP. Thank you.
Thank you. Sherry Giordano.
No comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Gorilli.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Mark Gorilli. I'm calling in today as the Executive Director for West Hartford Fellowship Housing, located in Bishop's Corner, West Hartford. We are a nonprofit organization with a mission focused on providing quality, affordable housing to seniors and the young disabled. We will be submitting formal written comments, and you will be hearing more from Claire Kindle, our Development Corp President, later on this call. My purpose today is to share what we see as the local immediate and growing need for more affordable, age-restricted housing. More specifically, our request that the proposed language of Section 4.B of the QAP be further modified to include age-restricted properties as a priority in the 2022 and 2023 application years. We know that approximately 18% of West Hartford residents are over the age of 65. Nationally, the demand research reveals the number of individuals aged 65 and older is projected to increase annually by 12%, promising the senior population will double by the year 2030. 13% of all households are headed by people 75 years of age and older, and 40 to 50% of those same households are supported by annual incomes of less than $25,000 a year. The average annual income for West Hartford Fellowship Housing residents is roughly $11,000. As of today, we have 134 people waiting for an affordable apartment and roughly 200 people who would qualify for Section 8 assisted subsidized apartments. According to our internal subsidized housing waiting list, which tallies the number of returned applications for our apartments, nearly 50% of those applications, that's 95 out of 197 individuals, are West Hartford residents and waiting for an available apartment. With only 212 apartments, 60 project-based subsidy vouchers, and 0 vacancies, it is apparent that the need to increase affordable housing vacancies and anti-poverty programs in West Hartford alone is essential. Our office receives phone calls daily for seniors eager to gain access to our on-site resources and are desperate to have a peaceful, convenient community to call home. Thank you for your continued support of affordable housing and the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you. Noah Gottbaum.
Hi, my name is Noah Gottbaum. I'm the CEO of Building Neighborhoods Together, formerly known as Bridgeport Neighborhood Trust. I have just a brief comment having to do with a little bit in line with what was said from Elm City Properties previously. And that has to do with the points offered for opportunity characteristics, which effectively take nonprofit developers or developers like us who operate in low-income, high-poverty areas and puts us at an immediate 15-point disadvantage. In Bridgeport, where we operate our housing, 6 out of 10 renters are rent burdened. There's an enormous shortfall of affordable housing, and yet we are disadvantaged in terms of getting LIHTC funding. It makes no sense to be offering 9 points for a below average poverty rate when people in high poverty areas have such a shortfall of housing and such a need, and then another 6 points for municipalities who have less than a certain amount of affordable housing. Again, it starts us out down 15 points and makes it almost impossible to win this LIHTC funding. I have no question that there should be more affordable housing in the higher opportunity areas, and that fair housing needs to be enforced, but not at the expense of providing housing to the most disadvantaged and struggling communities in the state. And it's a zero-sum game because the points that go to these high opportunity areas and the funding that goes to these high opportunity areas comes directly out of the lower opportunity areas and the higher poverty areas. And if you have more funding and can work it that way, where you're able to fund both, that's fine. But as we all know, the QAP is a zero-sum game. And to have our most struggling communities start out at a 15-point disadvantage, which adds up in terms of winning scores at almost a 25% disadvantage in terms of points, in favor of the richer, wealthier areas, it makes no sense. And I'm urging CHAFA to really look at where the needs are. I understand that these other areas really need to be doing their part, but it can't come at the expense of our struggling urban areas and our high poverty areas, and that's what's happening right now. So that's all I would like to say, and I think you need to be advantaging those areas that really have the greatest need in terms of the population, or find more funding so that advantaging one doesn't disadvantage another. Thank you.
Thank you. Joanna Grad.
Hi, I'm Joanna Grab. I'm a senior sustainability consultant on the Passive House team at Stephen Winter Associates. We're located in Norwalk, and I'm also a Connecticut native. My company has provided green and energy efficiency certification consulting on numerous CHAFA applications and homes that are occupied today. We're really proud of that. I support the inclusion of balanced ventilation. However, it's really critical that these systems operate both properly and efficiently. So I was really excited, and I support the inclusion of balanced ventilation with commissioning for improved health outcomes, and also the inclusion of passive house for better durability, maximum energy efficiency, and energy cost savings in the next QAP. Thanks.
Thank you. Ann Hanfield.
Thanks. Leanne Hanfield with Beacon Communities. And I'd also like to just thank CHAPA for the opportunity to provide these comments on the proposed 2022-2023 draft QAP. Broadly speaking, I would just like to start with this notion of areas of opportunity versus transit-oriented developments under the QAP, which both represent important policy initiatives, but are certainly imbalanced under the QAP. As we've heard a couple times now, the areas of opportunity category has 15 points available, whereas TOD sites in, call it, urban areas only have 4. So it really makes it impossible for TOD sites to be competitive, and we would like to see points for TOD sites to be increased for this purpose to try and strike a balance at where different sites can compete under the draft. On areas of opportunity specifically, we would like to note that, you know, under this initiative, the true way to bring affordable housing to these areas is through true mixed income housing developments rather than standalone deep income targeted developments. So to encourage housing in high opportunity areas, we recommend a fix for the long-standing issue in the language of affordability tiers be changed to qualified units in all cases rather than of all units. As currently written, the draft QAP states that when market units are added to a project, you have to also increase your lower income tiers on those developments. Also in the area of opportunity bucket, we recommend that family housing properties simply be not age restricted rather than prescribing the number of large bedrooms. The QAP currently forces developers to create 51% 2 bedrooms in order to secure any of the opportunity characteristic points for all projects in all markets without accounting for specific market needs. Recognizing the desire for larger units in areas of opportunity, we also recommend realigning the point system so that 2-bedroom requirements is specific to areas of opportunity and not required to get any opportunity points. Also in areas of opportunity bucket, many projects never get proposed in challenging high opportunity communities due to the huge financial risk and hurdles that developers have to undertake to get through land use approvals in those communities. So if a developer has to go through something like an 830G process, we think that substantial recognition should be given to those projects through points. This incentive would improve the chances that a developer makes the initial investment to overcome the local resistance that you often see in high opportunity towns. To achieve a guaranteed number of high opportunity projects in the QAP, we would like to see a pool from high opportunity areas and then removal of the opportunity points to, again, allow other projects such as TOD projects or other urban area projects compete for scarce resources. And lastly, you know, we applaud the effort to address the important preservation deals under the preservation category that's been introduced in this new draft. But to ensure that the 9% credit is truly reserved for the highest need projects, we would like to see projects which can be achieved using a 4% credit and subsidy as opposed to the 9% be flagged early as part of the pre-application process and ahead of the competitive round. We will be submitting written comments as well. And again, thank you for the opportunity to speak here today.
Thank you. Peter Harding.
Thank you. This is Peter Harding from McGran Associates, formerly Home Energy Technologies. We are energy efficiency and sustainability consultants and MEP engineers. We've had the privilege of working with a significant number of developers and architects on CHFA-funded projects. And we would like to applaud CHFA for the large step forward I think that this takes in the sustainable design area, significantly moving us towards achieving the state's goals for decarbonization and electrification and reduction of energy use. We appreciate particularly the increase in points and the flexibility that's been created by the more menued and nuanced approach. which I think is an excellent advance. We do have a number of technical points for clarification on some of the items in the sustainable design section, and we'll be submitting those as written comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Claire Kittle.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Claire Kindle. I am the president of the board of the nonprofit West Hartford Fellowship Housing Development Board, and we will be submitting formal written comments as well after this hearing. And I'm offering comments on the 2022-2023 QAP. We, as directors for the West Hartford Fellowship Housing, and on the development side, we're a long-standing nonprofit housing provider within the town of West Hartford, and our mission is to continue to provide quality, affordable housing for senior and young disabled people. And we've been there in existence for 50 years. And we have 24 buildings, a good number of them built in the 1970s, and the rest of them built, 23 of them built in the 1970s. And we are specifically asking and requesting that the proposed language of Section 4.B of the QAP be further modified to once again include age-restricted properties as a possibility within the 2022 and 2023 application years. For the past decade, QAP has included a strong scoring preference for non-age-restricted housing developments, and we understand that need. But we ask that you recognize that providing such a strong scoring advantage for non-age-restricted developments to the exclusion of all others, critically needed redevelopment of long-existing nonprofit, affordable, age-restricted housing simply isn't viable. We ask that you accommodate both needs in this upcoming QAP, and in particular, ask that you add the language to 4.B of units where, including it, have it either non-age restricted units or units where development is part of a preservation of existing units, adds additional housing stock, and any resident restrictions are existing and in force as a requirement of the existing housing development. We have a 40-year lease with the town of West Hartford, which limits our population to elderly and handicapped. And we have embarked on a comprehensive redevelopment strategy to provide an additional 88 affordable housing units in the Bishop's Corner community of West Hartford. With a directive to maintain the park-like beauty of the existing 9-acre development, we've developed architectural plans to raise 23 buildings and replace them with 6 multi-story buildings. We have obtained full local municipal approvals for the project, as well as traffic approvals from the Department of Transportation. But we can't build it without funding. And paramount to our redevelopment process is access to the 9% low-income tax credits, which are the primary driver for the creation of new affordable housing units. And from our due diligence, it's become apparent that the rating and ranking process under the current QAP is highly competitive, not surprising, but it gives an almost unsurmountable preference to those developments without an age restriction and with 50% or more of two-bedroom units. In other words, the requirements of Section 4.B serve as a gatekeeper as to whether or not the project is going to be financed. As such, we've been told our ability to be successful in the application for these credits with age restrictions placed upon us with our 40-year land lease with the town of West Hartford makes our expansion and redevelopment of the current affordable housing just about impossible. With the plan's focus on non-age restricted family developments, it's made it impossible for redevelopment of legacy nonprofit affordable housing developments. We respectfully suggest that it does not need to be either or, but can and should be both and. And we would ask that you would please modify Section 4.B of the proposed draft QAP for 2022 and 2023 to permit redevelopments such as West Hartford Fellowship Housing to be viable candidates for this program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ryan Kirchhoff.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Ryan Kirchhoff from Penrose. I just wanted to really briefly echo some of the concerns brought up by other folks on the call about the opportunity map and the way it disincentivizes development in many of Connecticut's densest most dynamic, most connected cities where affordable housing with smart growth principles is most possible and can have the greatest impact on its residents. Otherwise, Penrose will be submitting our formal written comments on this and other topics as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Ed LaChance.
No additional comments other than support those previously provided by Sinead Drong of Elm City Communities.
Allie Mashad.
Hi, my name is Allie Mashad. I'm calling on behalf of Vesta Corporation today. Appreciate the opportunity to provide comments on this draft QAP. Would similarly like to echo some of the prior comments, specifically in regards to 4B, but also 3C, which really discourage age-restricted housing in the state, specifically in the light of the aging population in Connecticut, and really throughout the nation. So would like to echo and emphasize and speak in support of removing the current language in 4B that would not allow age-restricted developments to obtain those points, as well as removing the point in 3C only for family development. Thank you.
Thank you. Nico Nanos.
No comments at this time.
Thank you. George Penniman.
Hi, my name is George Penniman. I'm an architect in Essex, Connecticut, and a member of the board of Connecticut Passive House. And I just want to echo the comments made previously, such as Peter Harding's, and thank and express my gratitude and encourage how encouraged I am by the evolution of the sustainable design section of the QAP, especially the fact that it supports incentivizing passive house, and with that incentive comes the benefits of energy use and carbon reduction, creating affordable, healthy, and safe housing for our fellow citizens who need it most. Thank you.
Thank you. Cindy Wasser.
Hi, this is Cindy Wasser with Home Innovation Research Labs. We manage the NGBS Green Certification based on ICC 700 National Green Building Standard. I have a couple comments today. First and foremost, we praise CHAFA for its continued commitment to sustainable design and the addition of new measures that will make funded communities more resilient to critical threats. We think including third-party green rating systems is really great, and we appreciate how you've offered a lot of different options so project teams can pick and choose what really is most meaningful to that particular community. We have two recommendations for your consideration. First, we recommend that CHAFA require full third-party certification to comply with the included green building and energy efficiency certifications. The referenced green building programs are more than just design standards. They include practices for design, construction, verification, and ongoing operation. And CHAFA only realizes the full benefits of that third-party certification when there is verification, people going on site to check on the construction quality. We also request that point values for the two subcategories of green building be increased to 4 points and 7 points to better reflect the comprehensive nature and higher energy performance of the recognized green building programs. Green building is more than just energy efficiency. It also touches lot design, water efficiency, indoor environmental quality, and you're getting a lot more than just that energy performance. And to have the same point award for a HERS 50 as is available for NGBS green certification at the gold level, it's really kind of mismatched. In fact, the NGBS certification at the gold level is 5% higher than the HERS score equivalent for that same point award, that same 2 points in the QAP. I will capture this in our written comments and make that available to you all. And I end by saying thank you for the opportunity to provide comment and participate today.
Thank you. That's the list that I have. Is there anyone else who hasn't provided a comment that would like to provide a comment?
Yes, this is Sarah Holmes.
Okay.
S-A-R-A, Holmes, H-O-L-M-E-S.
Thank you.
I am with Wyeth Architects and Connecticut Passive House. I'm an architect and certified passive house designer, and I'm a Connecticut native. I want to thank CHAFA for the revamped sustainable design measures, giving more points to the more stringent building standards, in particular, awarding passive house more points. This encourages high-quality buildings for the sector of the population who would most benefit from affordable utilities and healthy buildings. And just thank you to CHAFA's commitment to promote and support sustainable building. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, thank you so much for your comments. Each and every one of you, look for the publication of the voice recording in the next week or so. And with that, hearing no other further public comments. Was there anyone else that would like to speak before I close this hearing? Okay, it is 1:43. Shelley, we'll close this hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.